everybody, and welcome to Mid-South Wrestling. Thanks very much for being with us here today on America's #1 wrestling television program. I'm Jim Ross, and along with Joel Watts, we'll be describing the action. You're going to see some of wrestling's top stars right here today on this program. You're going to see the Fantastics go against Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert and Tommy Pritchard, in a great tag team encounter. Brickhouse Brown and Mark Reagan will team up today as well. Plus, you'll see the Mid-South Tag Team Champions Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death. A lot of great tag team action. But, Joel, we've got two single matches that really need more explaining. It's really going to be great.
Well, last week, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was going to wrestle, but he didn't get the stipulations that he wanted. He wants to get Akbar in the ring, so Grizzly Smith has signed the match. Hacksaw Jim Duggan against the Zambui Express, a television main event right here on Mid-South. And add to that, Hacksaw Jim Duggan will get to Skandar Akbar if he could defeat Zambui. Akbar will be fair game. Also, last week we saw a new television champion, Dirty Dutch Mantell. He defeated the Snowman right here on Mid-South Television after the Nightmare pile drive the Snowman on the concrete floor. The Snowman apparently has a brain concussion. We don't know how long he's going to be out of wrestling with a brain concussion. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
That's exactly right, Joel. It's going to be quite a matchup today. It'll be Terry Taylor for the TV title against Dirty Dutch Mantell. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, the Brick House, Hacksaw Butch Reed is coming back to Mid-South. He'll be here in person next week, but right now, let's go back in time and look at this great video, Body Works, featuring Hacksaw Butch Reed. Hacksaw Butch Reed back in the Mid-South. He'll be here with us live next week, ladies and gentlemen. The Hacksaw's on the trail, hot on the trail, more specifically, of the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair and anybody else that stands in his way. And right now, let's go to the ring in our first great match.
This event for the Mid-South Television Championship, that makes it one fall or 15-minute time limit. In the red corner, the champion from All Trough, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantell. And across the ring, the challenger from Vero Beach, Florida, Terry Taylor. Your referee, Randy Anderson.
Randy Anderson has been assigned this match by Mid-South, the television title on the line. You saw Dirty Dutch Mantell defeat the Snowman last week. Of course, as Joe Watts so ably explained at the beginning of the program, the nightmare pile drive snowman on the floor. We still don't know exactly how severely injured the snowman is, ladies and gentlemen, but needless to say, this event, Mantell, a fighting champion, he's putting the title right on the line against our second Mid-South television champion. Taylor didn't win the title with Preston Khrushchev.
Terry Taylor is a top contender for the TV title in everybody's opinion. I'm sure that he's going to give Dirty Dutch Mantell a run for his money. Dirty Dutch Mantell, very tenacious athlete, a tough brawler, and he certainly proved that he has got a few tricks up his sleeve, and he has some connections, and has made some alliances here in the Mid-South after the nightmare came down last week. Terry Taylor with the armbar and twist. Dirty Dutch with the reversal. But Terry Taylor back to the top wrist lock. He brings Dirty Dutch Mantell to the canvas. The top wrist lock is a very, very painful maneuver.
Terry Taylor, nice maneuver, as Joel explained, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, Taylor has really come into his own since he's been in the Mid-South area. We've seen him improve so much, and he is, of course, a very accomplished athlete, former North American champion, former television champion, trying to regain that title, and it was the TV championship that he first held here in the Mid-South. It means something very special to him, Joel, I know.
Well, if he regains the title today, it'll be the third time that he has held the television title, unprecedented here in the Mid-South in the TV title's history. Dutch Mantell trying to intimidate Terry Taylor a little bit. Dutch Mantell, great psychological grappler. There he complaining to Randy Anderson that the hair was pulled, but it looked to me like just a clean arm drag. Terry Taylor locked in tight on the arm bar. Dutch Mantell using the ropes to his advantage. Dutch Mantell, we'll see, uses the ropes to his advantage at every possible situation. Terry Taylor back to the arm bar.
Mantell went for the hip toss. Taylor reversed it, stopped it, got him right back in that arm lock. And I'll tell you what, Taylor really looks sharp here, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, the reason that the TV title is so special to him here in the Mid-South, where the competition is the toughest, that was the first title that he won. That's a very precious memory for Terry Taylor. I don't know if it's even more precious than the feeling that Dutch Mantell has for the TV title, because he was certainly on a vendetta to get it from the Snowman. And the Snowman, well, we saw what happened last week. Mantell, the new champion.
I think it's a testament to the tenacity of Dirty Dutch Mantell. He just kept after the Snowman. Much like, whoa! Dutch Mantell goes for the kick.
Looked like Taylor was going to set for the figure four. Mantell has his opponent well scouted as he scurried out of the ring. Mantell, there you see him. He's quite a tactician in his own right.
He is that, Jim, and he's a great athlete, but thus far in the match, he hasn't been able to outshine Terry Taylor in the technical aspects of wrestling. Terry Taylor, of course, has a great, great amateur background. He's a terrific athlete, and I think he's giving Dutch Mantell all he wants in the tactical aspect. Dutch with a right cross. Should have been a clean break. Terry Taylor comes back with one of his own, though. Dutch Mantell, Dutch always likes to pick his spots, so to speak. He likes to wait for the most opportune moment to gain his momentum. Up till that point, he likes to keep some distance from his opponent, sometimes in a cowardly fashion. Terry Taylor back to the headlock. He's got it locked in tight. Headlock is a good maneuver to control your opponent with. You control the head, you control the body. Dutch Mantell, however, is on his feet and is at a base where he can maneuver Terry. He fires Terry off into the ropes. Terry with a hard shoulder smash. Dirty Dutch, whoa! Taylor caught him a hard forearm. I don't know if he connected with it with as much velocity as he sometimes does. He went for the figure four, and Dirty Dutch Mantell is back out to the floor again to the sanctuary of the concrete floor. Randy Anderson now with the count. Terry Taylor waiting impatiently for Dirty Dutch Mantell to get back in.
I think we have to say that Mantell certainly respects the figure four, and obviously he should. Taylor has really developed that maneuver. Now Mantell, there's a shortcut. There's no technical expertise in that. He just shoved that fist right in the face of Terry Taylor.
Like I said before, he likes to keep his distance from the opponent and wait for the most opportune time to make his move. And right there, whoa, look at that suplex. Dutch Mantell really gets a lot of velocity when he hits those suplexes. He uses such high impact in all of his holds and maneuvers. I think it's due in part to his great athletic background and also due in part to his great experience in the professional wrestling ranks. And Jim, he just crowd Terry Taylor with that right cross, and now he's firing Terry's head into the turnbuckle, but Terry reverses it. Terry reverses it and gets Dutch's head into the turnbuckle. Arm whip. Dutch with a kick to the chest. It's seesawing back and forth, Jim. Dutch with a right, Terry with a right. Terry now a kick to the midsection. Dutch Mantell keeps going to those ropes. Dutch Mantell really likes to use those ropes. Tries to use them as a sanctuary. Try to get it broken up. Taylor with the roll-up. Dutch Mantell using the tights. Terry kicks him off hard into the turnbuckle.
I thought Mantell had him there. He had the tights. Taylor kicks off. Mantell is in trouble.
Mantell going for Shoe Baby. He's got Shoe Baby, and Terry goes after him, but Mantell really caught Terry in the Adam's apple with the handle of that whip. Now he's got him set up. The MX! Terry Taylor got the MX! He's got a great heart. Will we see a lateral? Whoa!
Mantell! Dutch Mantell, there you see the television champion. He retains the title over Terry Taylor. And we'll be back with Hacksaw Duggan against Kareem Muhammad right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, you're going to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan against Kareem Muhammad, the 406-pound Zambui Express of General Skandar Akbar. If Duggan wins, Akbar is fair game right here today on television. Hacksaw Duggan is adamant. He is ready for this match. He asked for these stipulations, and he made these comments.
This is America. America, land of the free and home of the brave. And I'm one man that's sick and tired of these terrorists living in our country, and just because they got a big fat pocket, just because they got a lot of bread, they can buy their way out of anything. Well, not the way it goes in Mid-South. Because Mid-South has promised Hacksaw Jim Duggan, if I can beat him, if I can beat that big Zambui Express, Mohammed, whatever he calls himself, then they gave me their word that I get Skandar Akbar. Skandar Akbar, the man that disfigured me for life, the man that almost blinded me for life, the man that cost my family, my country, my pride, all kinds of heartbreak. That's the man that I want, Skandar Akbar. And he comes out here and talks about, hey, being a big, proud, powerful man. Akbar, you're getting in way over your head. You better count on your hired help because you can't get it done.
Well, Hacksaw Duggan couldn't be more ready for this confrontation. He is really primed, but Skandar Akbar has got some of the most awesome weaponry in wrestling, and he made these comments.
Give me one good reason that I should do anything, Duggan. With my unlimited resources and my wealth, there are countless of these underprivileged countries. There are thousands of Kamalas. There are thousands of Zimbabwe Expresses just waiting to do my bidding, because that's what it's all about. So, Duggan, why? Why should I? Well, I can tell you this. Don't you ever get the idea that I can't handle my own affairs. I'm still a big, powerful man. I was North American champion for a long, long time in this area. Understand this, Duggan. I found an easier way, because all you Americans are getting soft and you're getting lazy. That's why the Kamalas, and that's why the Zimbabwe Expresses, and that's why, most of all, the General is now king of Mid-South. And that's why Bill Watts knows in his mind that he can't wipe the egg that I put on his face. And you, Duggan, why should I?
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The stage is set. It's going to be Hacksaw Duggan against Kareem Muhammad. The stakes could not get any higher. This tremendous Mid-South Wrestling main event. We're just about ready to go. Let's go now to ring announcer Boyd Pierce.
This event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, General Skandar Akbar presents at 406 pounds, Kareem Muhammad, the Zambui Express. And his opponent coming to the ring from New York State, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
They call for the bell. Remember, the stakes are high on this one, ladies and gentlemen. The stakes are very high. If Duggan beats this monster, he gets Akbar. Akbar will be fair game. What a battle we're going to see right here.
If Hacksaw Duggan can defeat the Zambui, he's going to get to pay Skandar Akbar back for all the injustice, all the injury. The time off, Duggan really hammering away at the Zambui. Arm whip. Duggan with the clothesline. He's got the Zambui in trouble if he could just keep the momentum. If he could just keep the momentum. Oh, the Zambui raking the eyes. He goes straight to the injured area of Duggan. Skandar Akbar tripped him. Skandar Akbar tripped him from the outside. And the Zambui hit Duggan with that flying headbutt of his. A flying headbutt. He's got Duggan hurt. He slammed Duggan. He went to hit him with that headbutt again. Duggan gets out of the way. Duggan gets out of the way, but apparently he's still hurt from the punishment he's received already. Both men getting up slowly. Duggan wants Akbar, but he's got the Zambui to contend with. The Zambui arm whipping Duggan hard into the turnbuckles. Duggan gets out of the way. Duggan gets out of the way, but I don't think he's still at 100%. Yes, here he comes. A left, a right.
These two big men, Duggan at 275 and the Zambui at 406, and he's hammering away at Hacksaw Duggan.
The Zambui went back to the eyes of Hacksaw Duggan. Oh! Duggan charging hard, but the Zambui catches him with a kick. Again, he goes for the flying headbutt, but Duggan's out of the way. And now Duggan's to his feet first. Duggan's up to his feet first, and he's stopping.
Hacksaw Duggan's firing away at this big man.
He's got the momentum once again. He elevates the big man. 408 pounds elevated into the air. He's setting up for the spear. He hits him. Yes.
All the way over. Duggan knocked him all the way over the top rope and out on the floor.
And he's got Akbar, yeah. He's got Akbar, and this is it, yeah. Yes. Whoa, yeah. He nailed Akbar, but the Zambui's back up. The Zambui extremely powerful. Duggan's back to the Zambui. Akbar's on Dream Street. Akbar's on Dream Street. Kamala! Kamala's into the ring now.
Here comes Kamala.
800 pounds attacking Duggan for both sides. We got to get some help down here.
Akbar's kicking Duggan. Akbar's running, kicking Duggan.
Skandar Akbar adding insult to injury. How demeaning, how insulting, how disgusting, this terrorist. Kamala, we got some help down here, but Kamala with the chops. He's so awesome with those chops. And the Zambui is holding Hacksaw Duggan. The Zambui has got Duggan at bay, and Akbar is still unmercifully pounding on Duggan with those street shoes.
We got bodies going everywhere. Both these men have got, Duggan cannot handle both men.
It's chaos, carnage. We've got to get some more help down here. Zambui really attacking Duggan. Duggan is hurt. He's down. He's helpless.
Let's go after Duggan's eye.
They're going after his eye, Jim, but we've got some more help. Brickhouse Brown, Mark Reagan, the Fantastics, Al Perez, and Kamala and the Zamboni are finally leaving.
Akbar, they double up on Duggan. Duggan, there's no way one man can handle those three. Duggan needed some help. He finally got some in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Akbar tried to take that eye, and we'll be back. We'll be back with the Mid-South Tag Team Champions right after this.
This tag team bout one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions at 262 pounds from Omaha, Nebraska, Ted DiBiase. 270 pounds from Oklahoma University, Steve Dr. Death Williams. Across the ring from Amarillo, Texas, the Cobra Corps, Terry Daniels. And from Tampa, Florida, Frankie Lane. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Hold it right now. I don't know how long I'm going to have to chase you two guys with me and the Barbarian. But all we ever wanted to have was one title shot. Now, right here on television is fine with me. So why don't you just put them up one time and let's see who the best team is.
Give them up, Weasels. Give them up.
You know something, Roberts? You know, I get the impression from listening to you that you think that Doc and I are afraid of you two. Let me tell you something, Jake. We're the Mid-South champions. We don't run from anybody. And I'm getting tired of you running out here whenever you feel like you want to and interfering in our matches and our business. Now, I'll tell you something, Jake. We don't sign the matches. Grizzly Smith, the matchmaker, signs the matches. We are contracted to wrestle these two guys right here today on television. Now, I'll tell you this. If we weren't obligated by contract to wrestle these two guys, we'd give you your title match, Jake. We would be more than happy to teach you two a lesson. But we are contracted to wrestle them.
Hold it just a minute now. You said the only reason keeping you from teaching us a lesson was these two guys?
Exactly. Exactly. We got a match contract to decide right here, or we'd be
Are
glad.
you saying that if they weren't in here, that you would wrestle us?
That's right. As simple as that.
Is that right? That's all they want. That's all they want. Well, now, Teddy, you don't have anybody to wrestle, so you might as well wrestle us. You might as well step on up here, big man.
That's real cute,
Come
Robert.
on, do
That's
something,
real
man.
cute, Robert.
Do
You want a
something.
title match?
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
it. Grizzly Smith. Grizzly Smith, you come on up here. You want a title match,
That's
Robert?
what I want.
You got it, baby. You got it. Come on here. I'm going to tell you something, Jake Roberts. Mid-South does not go for you forcing your hand. But if you want to insist, I'll ask Grizzly Smith, and if he'll force your hand for this match, you got it. But that's not the way things work around here, because I've tried it before. They want a title match, Grizzly Smith.
All we want is the one shot out here on television because we want to show these people what real champions are.
DiBiase, Dr. Death, Barbarian, Jake Roberts.
You all four know, under normal circumstances, we don't, Mid-South, and I as a matchmaker, we don't let anyone force us into any situation.
That's what I just said. That's what I just tried to tell them.
But I don't feel that I'm dealing with normal people. Taking into consideration the individuals in this mess, yes, it's a title match.
Mid-South, you're ready, correct? Oh no, I'm not letting anybody railroad us anything. Hey,
That'll be for the Mid-South Tag Team titles.
Well, you heard that, ladies and gentlemen. The match was made, but DiBiase and Dr. Death refusing to defend the titles. They said something about their attorneys and what have you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this match is not going to take place. DiBiase and Dr. Death want to know part of that situation. And we'll be right back. Wendell Cooley against the North American champion right after this.
This match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner from parts unknown, formerly being introduced as the Nightmare, but the North American Heavyweight Champion and Hot Stuff requests that he be introduced as the champion. And across the ring, at 231 pounds from San Antonio, Texas, Wendell Cooley, your referee, Randy Anderson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, so many exciting things already in this hour. Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. Thanks very much for being with us. Tremendous situation with Hacksaw Duggan, Kareem Muhammad, and Kamala. That situation, I can tell you one thing. There's been a big cowboy from Bixby, Oklahoma here, or a big Marine from Waxahachie, Joel. Things in that situation would have been a little different.
Exactly, Jim. I think if Hacksaw Jim Duggan can get enough artillery together on his side to match what Skandar Akbar's got, and Duggan's definitely going to get his hands on Akbar, and I, for one, frankly, cannot wait to see him get his just desserts. Action just getting started in the ring. The champion attacking the arm of Wendell Cooley.
The masked man, a very calculating, cold individual. And an interesting thing, Joel, I've been handed a note, and it says the Nightmare has called a press conference, and we will have a report on that next week here on Mid-South Wrestling. I've never heard him say 10 words, and so that was a written message. The Nightmare has called a press conference. We'll have a report on that. I hope to be covering that personally next week, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll have that for you. In the meantime, this man has, well, he's got a tremendous one-loss record. That may be the major understatement of 85. A tough man, and that pile driver, we saw what it did to the Snowman last week in the concrete. He's an awesome competitor in there against Wendell Cooley.
The Nightmares face some tough competition. People trying to take that North American title, but he has defended it quite successfully so far. Nightmare continuing to attack the arm of Wendell Cooley.
There's Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
Not only is the Nightmare strong, quite mobile, he is a great ring strategist as well. He is a very punishing wrestler. Very vicious and cold and calculating, like you said, Jim. Wendell Cooley up, poised, as if he were going to give the champion a shot to the face with a right. The champion beat him to it and pulled a hair, still continuing on the armbar and twist, using the ropes to his advantage there. Those ropes, when they snap, can really apply a lot of pressure on your shoulder, elbow joints. Slams Wendell Cooley down in the hammerlock. Another extremely punishing hold.
He's really working on the arm. His game plan is very clear and decisive. To work on the arm. He's doing a tremendous job of it.
He's going up to the second rope. Oh!
This man almost cat-like. Across the 280 pounds.
Crashing down hard across the lung and heart area. Wendell Cooley now applying that hammerlock. A hammerlock, a very dangerous hold. You can break a man's arm with it quite easily. It's illegal in the amateur ranks when placed above 90 degrees. I guarantee you the champion headed up above 90 degrees. Wendell Cooley, terrific arm strength though. Cooley firing away with right crosses.
Wendell Cooley's fighting for his life. He knows that the odds are against him in this situation, and he's fighting back.
Champion reverses the arm whip and really gets a lot of velocity as Cooley goes into the turnbuckles. But Cooley gets out of the way of the champion. Cooley now going up to the second rope, trying to use a high-risk maneuver. He slips.
Cooley took a little too much time getting to that rope. His foot slipped, and the Nightmare caught him with that clothesline. And look at this.
Oh! That pile driver.
The North American champion, another victory with the pile driver. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Tag Team Wrestling after this word from Mid-South.
This event, a tag team bout, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 231 pounds, the Red Raider. And at 227 pounds, Paul Brown. From Miami, Florida, Brickhouse Brown. And his team partner from Buffalo, New York, Mark Reagan. Your referee, Tony Torres.
Tag team action here, ladies and gentlemen, on Mid-South. Thanks very much for being with us. Popular duo of Brickhouse Brown and Mark Reagan going against the Red Raider and Paul Brown.
Paul Brown goes for a headlock on Mark Reagan, but Mark Reagan's got a great amateur background. It's going to take a lot more than a headlock to stop him. Oh, Mark Reagan moves in close with the fireman's carry. Mark Reagan is so agile. He's putting on weight in the gym constantly. I think he's going to be a big superstar someday.
Brickhouse Brown and they've been teaming together a lot of late, Joel. They work very well together. You see Brickhouse, you can tell he spends his time in the gymnasium as well, working out constantly.
Brickhouse Brown, tough as ever. A hard elbow. Comes down with a right cross to the head of Paul Brown. Brickhouse Brown with the armbar twist. He propels Brown off the ropes. Reagan catches him a clothesline. Mark Reagan caught Paul Brown with a clothesline. He's got him down in the lateral press, but Paul Brown maneuvering his shoulder off the mat to avoid the count from Tony Torres.
Well, they tried to set him up with that clothesline, but it did not land squarely. Brown did get his hand, shoulder up. There's a high vertical suplex. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mark Reagan, he planted that man. I think he could have pinned him right there, Joe.
Well, that was really something on the part of Mark Reagan. He moved from a half Nelson to a standing half Nelson and then turned it into a suplex. He can get you from all directions. Fantastic amateur athlete and a fantastic professional.
Well,
Rickhouse Brown trying to propel Paul Brown, but Brown trying to jockey for position. A hard hip toss. Red Raider in. Rickhouse Brown with arm drags. Brown with a fireman's carry. Red Raider trying to roll through there. Brown back up to the arm bar and twist. Headlock. Tag into Paul Brown. Rickhouse Brown up against both of them, but that didn't stop him. He managed to nail both of them. Oh, Reagan with a beautiful drop kick. Reagan hit Brown a beautiful drop kick. There's the count. 1, 2, and 3, and we have victory.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more Mid-South Wrestling right after this timeout.
This match, one fall, or a time limit of 10 minutes. In the red corner, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, 226 1/4 pounds, Pat Rose. And across the ring at 235 pounds in the blue corner, from Tampa, Florida, Al Perez. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you see him, impressive Al Perez. Russell collegiately at Tampa University, a young man very proud of his amateur background, his heritage, and we saw him last week. He was lightning.
Lightning quick. He had a very, very great suplex that he used. Pat Rose trying to shake Al Perez's hand to get the match started off. Perez, I'm sure, a great sportsman, but he is looking with a little bit of disdain upon this situation. Pat Rose adamant about shaking the hand. Whoa! He went to kick Perez in the stomach. Perez got that leg. He spins Pat Rose around and suplexed him.
Yeah! Al Perez, we call it lightning, and lightning strikes twice. Ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup. And we'll be back with more right after this from Mid-South. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly hope you will agree with us that we have seen another tremendous hour of Mid-South Wrestling here today. We want to thank you very much for being with us. So many exciting things we would like to recap, and some very important and exciting things to tell you about what to look forward to next week. We're going to do that in just a few moments, but Joel, right now, one of our favorites, the Fantastics, are back in the Mid-South area. You got a video on them, should be great.
Well, the Fantastics have dropped all their commitments in the Dallas area, and they're in the Mid-South now. They are after those Mid-South Tag Team titles. I'll tell you, they're a great couple of guys. I had the privilege of doing a video with them while they were here in the Mid-South before they went to Dallas. It's called Give Me All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top, and let's watch that video now.
What you got is all so sweet. You gotta make it hard.
Two great guys, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics. They're here in the Mid-South area. They're on a mission, and the fans are solid behind them, no doubt about that. You know, Joel, we saw Terry Taylor go against Dirty Dutch Mantell here today on Mid-South Wrestling. Mantell secured a very impressive victory over a fine athlete.
Oh, yeah, that was a very important victory for Dirty Dutch Mantell. It has established him as a very viable television champion. He's obviously a fighting champion taking on Terry Taylor. But we also saw another situation that was very interesting, I guess, for lack of a better term. Kareem Mohammed and Kamala and Skandar Akbar, all three of them teaming up on Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Kamala, the winner of the match by disqualification, he was supposed to get, Akbar was fair game in that situation.
Hacksaw Duggan won the match by disqualification.
Yeah.
As we're talking here, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I mentioned earlier, if Cowboy Bill Watts or Dick Murdoch would have been here, I think we'd have seen a little different story there. And speaking of them, we'll see two great wrestling stars right here next week.
Hacksaw Butch Reed and Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch himself will be here on Mid-South Wrestling, and I believe that they will be wrestling, too.
They certainly
great.
That sure should be a great hour, ladies and gentlemen, next week. Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch, among others, Hacksaw Butch Reed returning to the Mid-South area. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a special visit with one of the great country music stars. He's a great fan of Mid-South Wrestling, Jerry Reed from Smoking the Bandit fame. We'll also have some footage of him next week. It should be a great hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Boyd Pierce, our ring announcer, for my colleague Joel Watts, I'm Jim Ross saying once again, we certainly appreciate you inviting us to your home. And ladies and gentlemen, next week it should be another exciting hour. So for our whole crew here at Mid-South Wrestling, again, thanks very much. I'm Jim Ross, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next week.
Hello, folks. I'm Jerry Reed. I want to invite you to watch Mid-South Wrestling right here every weekend, the #1 wrestling show in America. Don't you miss it. Hello, folks. I'm Jerry Reed. I want to invite you to watch Mid-South Wrestling right here every weekend, the #1 wrestling show in America. Don't you miss it. Hello, folks. I'm Jerry Reed. I want to invite you to watch Mid-South Wrestling right here every weekend, the #1 wrestling show in America. Don't you miss it.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting hour of Mid-South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, along with Joel Watts. We'll be describing the action, ladies and gentlemen, here today. A lot of great single competition. You're going to see the North American champion, the Nightmare, in action. Plus, you're going to see Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch go against Dirty Dutch Mantell in the Battle of the Texans. Plus, Hacksaw Butch Reed returns. A lot of tag team action as well, Joel, here today on Mid-South.
Yeah, we'll see the Mid-South Tag Team Champions in action against Brickhouse Brown and Mark Reagan. Also, we'll see a new tag team combination called the Bounty Hunters in action today. Also, we'll see Jake the Snake and the Barbarian in action. It's going to be a great hour, I guarantee you.
It certainly is, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, we're going to see Mike Graham, the son of the legendary Eddie Graham, one of the top wrestlers in the profession. He'll be making his Mid-South debut here today. And ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to talk with country music star Jerry Reed. What a fan of Mid-South Wrestling is that tremendous entertainer. I asked Jerry several questions. Here is some of that interview.
I watch it at home. You know, wrestling to me is one of the most entertaining things on earth. You know, you hear a lot of pros and cons about wrestling. There's wrestling fans that fight you over wrestling. I know, I grew up, my family was wrestling fans. I'd go down to the City Auditorium, up in Marietta, the Municipal Auditorium in Atlanta, and we'd watch wrestling. I mean, I've seen things in wrestling rings that make my heart stop. Just stop. So it really is. It's enjoyable to me. It's a fun sport. And it's fun to watch. And you know, the wrestling fans are they're in those matches like they're in the ring themselves. And that's what's really so good about it. You know, it's the wrestlers, you relate to them. They communicate with them, you know, and it's macho, and it's good. Macho's good. I like it.
Jim, you know, Jerry Reed is certainly a great wrestling fan and certainly a fan of Mid-South Wrestling, as a lot of people are, because Mid-South Wrestling is the #1 rated syndicated sports program in the country. I think that's really great. A lot of people are standing up and taking notice of the Mid-South, movie stars, actors, people like Jerry Reed, and especially the wrestlers themselves. The Mid-South area is noted for its great competition. One example, in fact, is waiting in the ring right now. Mike Graham, one of the great junior heavyweight contenders, has come to the Mid-South to do battle. Let's go to the ring right now.
This event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner from Houston, Texas, 220 pounds, Tommy Pritchard. And across the ring, the highly ranked grappler from the state of Florida, Mike Graham. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Your first match here at Mid-South Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Graham. Highly regarded, maybe the understatement of the year. He's one of the top athletes in all of wrestling. Generally regarded as one of the great junior heavyweights. And he's here to go with Tommy Pritchard, so this should be a fine bout to start off with.
Mike Graham's got a lot of ring experience. Of course, he learned quite a bit from his father, Eddie Graham, who was a great grappler in his own right. Mike Graham, extremely strong and quick. Very powerful man.
Mike Graham, former 2 times winner of the Powerlifting Championship of Florida. Don't let his smaller size deceive you. He's a very solid young man. And he is, of course, confined most of his wrestling in the state of Florida. Nice fireman's carry takeover. And Mike Graham is here in the Mid-South. Just another indication, as Joel Watts mentioned earlier, of the top stars coming to Mid-South.
Mike Graham really locking up on the armbar and twist on Tommy Pritchard. Pritchard, of course, martial arts expert. Mike Graham with a hip toss. Mike Graham's a great outdoorsman, loves to fish and hunt. And of course, he's hunting down the competition right here in the Mid-South. Glad to have him here, great athlete. I've known Mike since I was a young kid. Mike Graham trying to break out of the headlock, trying to maneuver himself into a top wrist lock. Top wrist lock, of course, a very, very painful hold. There, he's got it. He's got the top wrist lock on Tommy Pritchard. But Tommy Pritchard, a strong man in his own right. Pritchard there looks as if he used a little subterfuge. There's been a little hair pulling there. Hard shoulder smash off the ropes. Pritchard gaining velocity. Mike Graham really caught him with a drop kick hard. Rather, he caught Tom Pritchard off those ropes. I think Pritchard's own velocity worked against him that time, but Pritchard, a tough kid, manages to fire back. Shoulder smash from Graham this time, and now it's Graham who's got the velocity off the ropes, and Pritchard with that circling savate kick straight to the chin, and Graham is hurting.
Don't ever discount the abilities of Tommy Pritchard, ladies and gentlemen. He knows what he's up against this superstar, Mike Graham. He knows Graham is here coming to the Mid-South to make a name for himself, as he has in every area he's been in.
Tommy Pritchard there using the flat of the fist. Blatantly illegal. There he goes for an atomic drop, and Mike Graham catches him hard. I think Mike Graham caught him with that right before the stun and the pain caught him from that atomic backbreaker. Both of these men squaring off toe-to-toe now. Rights and lefts. Graham catches Pritchard. It looks like he was trying to catch that knee. Figure four. Eddie Graham was the man who taught the figure four to Jack Briscoe, one of the great world heavyweight champions of our time. Tommy Pritchard quickly giving up.
And the winner of the match, Mike Graham with a figure four. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with a special press conference that has been called by Sir Oliver Humperdinck and the Nightmare. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, folks. I'm Jerry Reed. I want to invite you to watch Mid-South Wrestling right here every weekend, the #1 wrestling show in America. Don't you miss it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned to you last week when Joel and I were here, we did say that this week we'd bring you a press conference that the Nightmare called. I mentioned last week we haven't heard the Nightmare say too many things since he's been in the Mid-South. He's done all of his talking in the ring. He's undefeated. He's the North American champion. The press conference, well, it will speak for itself. Let's see that footage.
I've gathered you, the members of the press, together here today for one reason. Actually, for two reasons, but let's get to the first point first. I'm making a reappearance in the Mid-South wrestling area. My name is Sir Oliver Humperdinck, and I'm probably one of the most successful managers in the wrestling business today. I make my money managing...
I'm still trying to wonder what my...
Eddie, I'll get to you in a minute. Just a minute, Eddie. Success, my middle name. Champions, my mainstay in life. I pay very well. I do well for myself, and everybody that I handle does well. Now,
that still doesn't answer my question. What's the purpose of being the champion being here today?
Well, that's an interesting question, Eddie. You know, in the past few weeks, I've had a few negotiations with the man standing behind us right now, the champion, the North American heavyweight champion, and he's told me a few things, that there's a few problems between you and he, management-wise. Now, I realize that you're a great wrestler, but you're not a manager, and you don't know the aspects of this business like I do. Therefore, I'm going to announce today to the world and to you, Eddie Gilbert, that you are out and I am in.
No.
I am taking, no, wait a minute. Now, you wait a minute. I am taking over the exclusive management of this man from this day forward.
Oh, wait a minute, sir. You know, Mr. Humperdinck, I know you got to be a little mistaken here. Because me and this man came to this area together, to Mid-South together. I molded his career. I gave him a chance to be the North American heavyweight champion.
I realize all that.
We came together as a team.
But the man's schedule now demands a more professional management team, and I can supply that to him. I'm prepared to offer you a job with the organization in a lesser capacity.
What?
Perhaps
Hey,
wait a minute here. Hey.
It's over with you, hot stuff.
Hey.
This is going to be my new manager now. You can just take a walk.
You've heard it from the source. You're not needed any longer, and don't touch me again.
My friend, the man I brought here that I thought was my buddy, the one that I thought...
There you go, thinking again. Hey, listen, I don't want you to take it like this. You have a job if you want it. I don't want the man to go on the street with nothing to do. He could work for us if he wanted to. But if he doesn't want to, that's fine with us, too. From now on, it's Humperdinck and the Nightmare, and I want everybody out there to understand that things are going to change from this time on.
Well, there you have it, the champion with a new manager, apparently, Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Very experienced manager, I guess. Eddie Gilbert kind of left out in the cold, I guess, but he's got something you can't take away from him, and that's a lot of wrestling skill. We're about to see some more great wrestling skill in action. The champion is in the ring, about to do battle. Alongside of him, his new manager, Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
This bout, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner.
Take care of the introductions. From this moment on, I'll take care of his introductions. First of all, 5 times voted by the Wrestling Fans Manager of the Year. My name's Sir Oliver Humperdinck, and I'm in charge of the man you see now. Your champion, the North American heavyweight champion, the dreaded Nightmare Daddy, belongs to me now. He's with me.
And across the ring at 233 pounds from Tampa, Florida, in the blue corner, Frank Lane. Your referee, Alfred Neely.
Well, his first appearance in the ring, Sir Oliver Humperdinck. As he mentioned, voted 5 times Manager of the Year. Can't take away from him, ladies and gentlemen. He is one of the most experienced managers in wrestling, but more importantly, one of the most successful managers in wrestling. So Oliver Humperdinck with his North American champion. This stunning turn of events, as Joel mentioned, Eddie Gilbert seemingly left out in the cold, let's say, as far as managing the Nightmare is concerned.
The Nightmare goes straight out to the attack. He fires Frankie Lane off hard. Lane gaining some velocity on those ropes, kind of an unorthodox flying body press. Frank Lane's a good athlete. Strong kid, a hard trainer. He really wants to move up in the ranks. It'd certainly be a feather in his cap if he could defeat the champion. But I think according to most wrestling experts, Frankie Lane would be the underdog in this match. The champion is just practically unstoppable. We've seen him up against some major names in professional wrestling, and he's come out victorious. He is still the North American champion. He's clinging tenaciously to that belt, just as he's clinging tenaciously to the rear chinlock on Frankie Lane. Boy, look at how vicious he is with that elbow. Lane really feeling the sting of the canvas there. Champions got Lane up. It could have been a body press, but he fires Lane high into the air, down across that top steel cable. Frankie Lane obviously in a lot of pain. An illegal tactic, but certainly effective.
Sir Oliver Humperdinck, the camera shot just a few moments ago, seems to be very pleased with the proceedings that are taking place at this point in time, as the North American champion, the Nightmare, as he has introduced him, is certainly dominating this match.
The Nightmare gouging the eyes of Frank Lane. Unnecessary punishment, but that's the way that the Nightmare operates. The Nightmare seems to at times take pleasure in brutalizing his opponents, much like you said Oliver Humperdinck was taking pleasure in the champion on Frank Lane. Frank Lane there with a couple of elbows. Frank sets the champion up for the arm whip. The champion with a kick to the chest. The champion with a hard kick to the chest and quickly to the pile driver.
The pile driver by the Nightmare. The North American champion, 1, 2, and 3. The Nightmare puts another one down with that dreaded pile driver. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the Mid-South Tag Team Champions after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This bout, one fall with a 10-minute time limit, a tag team match. In the red corner, the Mid-South Tag Team title holders at 262 pounds from Omaha, Nebraska, Ted DiBiase. And from Oklahoma University at 267 pounds, Steve Dr. Death Williams. From Buffalo, New York, Mort Reagan. And from Miami, Florida, his partner, Brickhouse Brown. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Tag team wrestling on Mid-South, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. Thank you very much for being with us. There you see Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Death Williams, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, as they're going to get it on with Brickhouse Brown and Mark Reagan. There's the bell that signifies action here on Mid-South.
Brickhouse Brown and Mark Reagan recently tag teaming together. They've met with some successes, and they feel that they've got their act together, and they're ready to take on the Mid-South Tag Team Champions. Of course, they're not alone. The race for the Mid-South Tag Team belts has become really, really one of the high points in the Mid-South area recently. In wrestling, so many people are after those belts. I guess at the top of the list, you'd have to say that Jake the Snake and the Barbarian are really bearing down on them. Some people seem to think that Dr. Death and DiBiase are running from Snake and the Barbarian, but of course I think that's due to Ted DiBiase and the fact that he is no stranger to psychological warfare. Dr. Death there with a really hard shoulder smash to Brickhouse Brown. Brickhouse still feeling the pain of that one. As you can well imagine, look at the awesome physical structure of Dr. Death.
Number 76 for the Oklahoma Sooners came off like he was firing off against one of those Texas Longhorns or a Cornhusker. Now Brickhouse Brown, but Dr. Death caught him. Dr. Death, tremendous strength, and he just ran Brickhouse into the cable, to the ring cable. I tell you, Joel, I said this before, and you've agreed with me, the fans. Dr. Death, Steve Williams going to the well there, and it was dry. He's becoming, and rapidly so, one of the premier heavyweight wrestlers in this profession. Brickhouse Brown now making the tag. In comes Mark Reagan. That's what Brickhouse and Mark are going to have to do, keep the champions off balance, keep this thing high tempo.
Dr. Death fires Mark Reagan out. Ted DiBiase really caught Reagan with a clothesline. Brother, he nailed him. DiBiase generating a whole lot of velocity on that arm whip, capitalizing on it with the elbow, and a hard kick with the flat of the foot. That's legal to the face. You won't see DiBiase using too many legal tactics. There's a fist to the face. DiBiase bringing the attack straight to Mark Reagan. Brother, he's pouring it on. Reagan, of course, a great athlete in his own right, but he's up against a tough man. And went to West Texas State and played football very successfully there. Dr. Death back in. Death with a really hard body slam. Dr. Death with a leg drop. His 30-inch thighs, all that muscular mass. Brother, he can crush you. Headbutt. Headbutt, but it looks like Dr. Death might have hurt himself in that instance a little bit. Could have been a chance for some momentum on the part of Mark Reagan, but he has suffered quite a bit of punishment thus far. Ted DiBiase to the second rope.
Boy, DiBiase and Dr. Death, they are really operating at top efficiency here on Mid-South Wrestling.
They're relentless, Jim.
They certainly are. They've stayed right on the offensive, Joel.
Of course, they're gearing up for a couple of tough monsters, like I said before, Jake the Snake and the Barbarian. #1 contenders for those tag team belts. And rightfully so, they are a great tag team in their own right.
And we'll see Jake the Snake Robertson and Barbarian a little bit later in the hour. DiBiase with the backbreaker.
DiBiase with the backbreaker, but Mark Reagan manages to get a foot on the rope. He gets a knee to the neck. Mark Reagan showing a lot of heart here at this point. I think the normal athlete would have given in by now. Dr. Death administering even more punishment, and Mark Reagan is really hurting. Death looked like he had him up for that stampede, but he wants to apply a little bit more punishment using those turnbuckles. Look at that awesome strength. Mark Reagan really needs to make the tag at this point. Reagan kicks out of the lateral press. What a statement on the part of Reagan. Brother, he's got a lot of heart. I think we'll see a lot out of him in the future. Great amateur background. Oh, DiBiase, really high elevation, and now he's up to that second rope, but he misses the elbow.
Mark Reagan needs to make the tag at this point in time. DiBiase with a slide miscalculation. Reagan makes the tag. Here comes Brickhouse Brown against Ted DiBiase, but DiBiase is right back on the offensive.
DiBiase stopped Brickhouse's momentum right off the bat with 3 hard right crosses, and look at that clothesline. DiBiase and Doc are as vicious as I have ever seen them.
The tag was made.
My goodness. Dr. Death's got Brickhouse up for the stampede.
Ah, he planted him. 1, 2, 3, the Oklahoma Stampede, Steve Dr. Death Williams and Ted DiBiase, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, awesomely victorious. And we'll be back with a battle of the Texas Tough Guys, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch and Dirty Dutch Mantell, right after this.
This event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit, a battle of the Texas Tough Guys. Introducing first in the ring in the red corner, from All Trough, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantell. From Waxahachie, Texas, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch.
Wait a minute, boy, Church. I got something to say here, Murdoch. You come back to Mid-South, and you've been shooting your big mouth. Now, things have changed around here, Murdoch. You've been telling everybody how you got me into West Texas State. You did this for me. You did that for me. Let me tell you something, Murdoch. I had 19 offers from 19 different colleges to play football on my own ability. You ain't ever done nothing for me, Murdoch. Not a dang thing but shoot off your big mouth. I want to tell you something. I'm here to say right now, you need to move into the 21st century, baby. Get out of those days of roping cattle and spitting tobacco and come into the real world, baby. What I'm saying, bottom line is, keep your big mouth shut or I'll shut it for you.
Hey, DiBiase, let me tell you something. When you come out of high school, you were so dumb you couldn't get in Grambling or Acorn A&M. Now, furthermore, you couldn't even win to Oklahoma. You couldn't make an X. Now, you put this little worm rat out of the ring, and me and you'll go at it, and you'll turn tail and run, boy. Get out of here, boy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, and I guess we're going to ring the bell. We got a match in there getting it on. DiBiase and Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. This impromptu battle here on Mid-South.
DiBiase catching Murdoch with an arm work. Murdoch with an elbow. He's firing lefts and rights. Murdoch is just a brawler. Murdoch's a tougher fighter as you'll find. And Dirty Dutch Mantell. Mantell left the ring, but he didn't leave the area. Oh, Mantell and Murdoch, tremendous collision. Murdoch really hitting his head on the mat. Both men down. DiBiase's outside of the ring. The champion. The champion from behind. Oh, Dick Murdoch, the champion, really cut Murdoch with a couple of forearms. He went for the pile driver. He went for the pile driver, and Murdoch reversed it. Murdoch fired away, but he's up against three men. Murdoch holding his own. Captain Redneck holding his own, and there's Butch Reed.
Here comes Butch Reed. Reed Murdoch are clearing the ring. They're standing tall. They've had all they can stand in this 2-on-1, these terrorist tactics. It's always 2-on-1 or 3-on-1, but not this time. Not this time. Hacksaw Butch Reed and Dick Murdoch standing tall, and they're in the ring, but nobody, and I mean nobody, wants any more. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back, and you'll see Hacksaw Butch Reed in action after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This event, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 310 pounds from the state of Alabama, Mark Hawk. And his opponent, 265 pounds from Kansas City, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this crowd's still buzzing. Hacksaw Butch Reed getting ready to go against newcomer Mark Hawk. Looks to be around 300 pounds here. Hacksaw Butch Reed, the #1 contender for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
I say Reed is back. Look at that. He is as strong as ever. He told me he feels like he's in as good a shape as he's ever been, possibly the best shape that he's ever been. And like you said, Jim, he is the #1 contender for the NWA World's Heavyweight title. And frankly, I, for one, I'd love to see him win that title.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joel, I happened to be in the Omni on July the 4th, and I heard Ric Flair talking to some people. Whatever it takes, he does not want to face Hacksaw Butch Reed again. And not to take anything away from Ric Flair, he's a tremendous world champion. But I think he knows, and many insiders in wrestling know, that Hacksaw Reed has his number. He has everything it takes to be the first black world's heavyweight champion.
Reed setting up Mark Hawk. Fires him off with an arm whip, a fist to the midsection. I tell you, when Reed gets out there, it ain't always the prettiest thing. But brother, he gets the job done.
He just picked up that man over. The guy's got to be over 300 pounds. Reed picks him up for a body slam. Hacksaw Butch Reed come to the aid with Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch, Hacksaw Duggan Cowboy Bill Watts, Hacksaw Reed. They're all sick and tired of these terrorist tactics, these 2-on-1s, the 3-on-1s, this situation. And speaking of Akbar, I understand that there's a new team on the horizon. We're going to be seeing here a little bit, Joel, the Bounty Hunters.
Bounty Hunters, I've heard, really, really large guys. Hacksaw Butch Reed trying to break clean out of the corner, but Mark Hawk trying to gain a little momentum on Reed, but to no avail. He's hitting Reed with everything he's got, but Reed, it's not even phasing Hacksaw Butch Reed. Brother, Reed is as tough as they come. There he goes with those big soup bones, hammering away at Mark Hawk. Mark Hawk's down on his knees, and he is completely not goofy.
There's a big soup bone right upside his head, and I'll say this, that soup bone will put them all down. It'll put them all in their place, that soup bone will.
Well, Reed is maneuvering this 300-pound man like he was nothing. You could just see the awesome strength that Hacksaw Butch Reed has in every single part of his body. He's not just concentrated to having big arms. Whoa, there it is. There's that shoulder, that flying forearm, the big soup bone.
And there you see the man, the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship of the world, Hacksaw Butch Reed. And we'll be back with more Mid-South Wrestling right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, last week here at Mid-South Wrestling, the match between Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Kareem Muhammad, the Zambui Express, with a very special stipulation last week that if Duggan won the match, he would get 5 minutes all alone with General Skandar Akbar here on Mid-South Wrestling. What a tremendous confrontation. Akbar drawing Duggan into this match, knowing that Cowboy Bill Watts was not on this Mid-South Wrestling program at that time. Again, Akbar had the deck stacked, but Duggan not to turn away any challenge, accepted the challenge. The match took place. Let's join the closing moments of that encounter.
He's got the momentum once again. He elevates the big man. 408 pounds elevated into the air. He's setting up for the spear. He hits him. Yes.
All the way over. Duggan knocked him all the way over the top rope and out on the floor.
And he's got Akbar. Yeah. He's got Akbar, and this is it. Yeah. Yes. Wow, yeah! He nailed Akbar, but the Zambui's back up. The Zambui extremely powerful. Duggan's back to the Zambui. Akbar's on Dream Street. Akbar's on Dream Street. Kamala! Kamala's into the ring now.
Here comes Kamala!
800 pounds attacking Duggan for both sides. We got to get some help down here.
Akbar's kicking Duggan. Akbar's really kicking Duggan.
Skandar Akbar adding insult to injury. How demeaning, how insulting, how disgusting this terrorist. Kamala, we got some help down here, but Kamala with the chops. He's so awesome with those chops. And the Zambuli is holding Hacksaw Duggan. The Zambuli has got Duggan at bay, and Akbar is still unmercifully pounding on Duggan with those street shoes.
We got bodies falling everywhere. Both these men have got... Duggan cannot handle both men.
It's chaos, carnage. We've got to get some more help down here. Zambuli really attacking Duggan. Duggan is hurt. He's down. He's helpless.
They're going after Duggan's eye.
They're going after his eye, Jim. But we've got some more help. Brickhouse Brown, Mark Reagan, the Fantastics, Al Perez, and Kamala and the Zambuli are finally leaving.
Akbar, they double up on Duggan. There's no way one man can handle those three. Duggan needed some help. He finally got some in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Akbar tried to take that eye.
The terrorism continues, Jim. Somewhere in that devious mind of Skandar Akbar, I have a feeling that he had this entire thing planned out. I'll tell you, there are a lot of things in this world that are precious to a lot of people, but not many things as precious to a person as his eyesight. Skandar Akbar trying to take out that other eye of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and it's really frustrating. Right now, the Bounty Hunters, a new force in the Mid-South area, are in the ring ready to do battle. Let's go to the ring now.
This tag team match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at a combined weight of 710 pounds, the Bounty Hunters. And across the ring at 210 pounds from Chicago, Mike Nichols. And his team partner, San Antonio at 231 pounds, Wendell Cooley. Alfred Neely, your referee.
There you see the Bounty Hunters, over 700 pounds combined weight. As Alfred Neely calls for the bell, ladies and gentlemen, we have tag team action. This team, the Bounty Hunters, and I'll tell you, we don't know a thing about them except that they are extremely, extremely big.
You know, Jim, I just can't help but think that somewhere behind all this, Skandar Akbar has got to be lurking. Anytime you get a team as awesome as this in, you got to think there's somebody recruiting them. Hard arm went by one of the Bounty Hunters. Wendell Cooley into the turnbuckles, but Cooley comes out unscathed and fires away a couple of right crosses. Tags into his partner, Mike Nichols. Nichols in now, firing away at the midsection of the Bounty Hunter, but not even phasing the Bounty Hunter.
And speaking of General Skandar Akbar, he's talking about the disciplinary jumps. Akbar's at ringside. There you see him, General Akbar. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that next week here on Mid-South Wrestling, you'll see these two massive Bounty Hunters against Cowboy Bill Watts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan right here next week on Mid-South Wrestling.
Tag into the second Bounty Hunter. What an elbow. Can you imagine the momentum that a man could gain with all that weight behind an elbow like that? Atomic drop. Mike Nichols in a lot of pain. There's not much you can do against one of these big guys. You have really, really got to be powerful to overcome that mass. Body slam.
Well, they're working very well. You can obviously tell that they've got their strategy down. Ooh!
Jim, by the looks of them, they almost look like identical twins.
Well, it was double trouble, I'll say that, ladies and gentlemen. Double trouble for Mike Nichols as the Bounty Hunters victorious. Akbar has seen all he needs. He is leaving the area, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian in tag team action after this from Mid-South.
This event, one fall, our television time remaining, a tag team match at 253 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, Jake the Snake, and his team partner, the powerful Barbarian. And across the ring, 225 pounds from Birmingham, Larry Clark, and his partner, the Red Raider.
Tag team action here, ladies and gentlemen. The number one contenders for the Mid-South Tag Team titles, Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian, going against Larry Clark and the Red Raider as Carl Fergie calls for the bell. This is the team and this that everyone's looking for to go against Ted DiBiase and Dr. S. Steve Williams for those Mid-South Tag Team title kicks, those belts. What a collision that will be.
Well, there are some close resemblances between the two teams. On the one hand, you've got a master tactician on both teams. On the other hand, you've got a man who is extremely powerful. So there are some striking similarities. They use a lot of the same tactics. Jake the Snake really being vicious on the Red Raider. You hear the Barbarian out there yelling threats at the Red Raider.
Oh! 6'8", 320 pounds coming over that top rope. This guy is really a specimen. A big foot right to the face.
Barbarian coming off of his feet with that foot. Really connected with the face of the Red Raider. I don't think that mask probably provided much protection in that instance. Hard body slam from almost 7 feet up. Brother, you know that's gotta hurt. The Red Raider just practically incapacitated from that one. Barbarian quick to the attack on Larry Clark. You can get some idea of the size of the Barbarian. On the average, Larry Clark is a big man, but up against the Barbarian, he looks minuscule.
Barbarian once with a press slam and then with a backbreaker. He is really manhandling Larry Clark here, ladies and gentlemen, on Mid-South Wrestling.
Jim, this is something I've seen the Barbarian do. It's unbelievable. Look at that. All the way off the second rope, 320 pounds, 6'8" tall, and so agile that he executes a flying elbow. What a weapon. But here's the weapon, Jim.
That's the weapon everybody's talking about. The Barbarian knocked the Red Raider off the ring, and Jake the Snake with a DDT. And that's why they are, without a doubt, the number one contenders for the Mid-South Tag Team Championship. And ladies and gentlemen, right now, let's take this opportunity to show you a premiere video that Joe Watts has produced on the Fantastics. It's Tush by ZZ Top.
Man, it's hot out here, Tom. I wish somebody would come by and pick us up, man. I do too. You know, we got to get downtown. That's where all the girls are. You ain't lying, brother.
I've been up, I've been down, take my word, my way around. I ain't asking for much. I said, Lord, take me downtown. I'm just looking for some touch.
Another great video, Joel, on just a fantastic, fantastic team. They're so aptly named. Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastic.
Well, thank you very much, Jim. I'd like to thank Bob Von Jerche, our technical supervisor at Mid-South Wrestling, for his help in the video. And, of course, the Fantastics also. They're a great couple of guys to work with. They've always got great ideas, and they're so helpful, and they're really good for that type of stuff. Jim, it's been a great hour so far. I tell you, Mike Graham, newcomer to the Mid-South area. We see the Bounty Hunters, also newcomers. Hacksaw Butch Reed victorious here. Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch and his altercation with Ted DiBiase. We saw the Mid-South Tag Team Champions victorious, and of course the #1 contenders for the Mid-South Tag Team titles, Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian. And of course, next week we've got some great matches already booked.
Yes, we sure do, Joel. And I do want to add that I have never seen Jake the Snake and the Barbarian or Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death in their individual matches look any sharper. That confrontation is really brewing, and the binding together, the men that are standing up against this terrorism of Akbar, Dick Murdoch and Hacksaw Reed standing together next week. It's going to be Cowboy Bill Watts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan against those massive bounty hunters. You're going to see Mike Graham against Dirty Dutch Mantell. Plus, that impressive newcomer Al Perez gets a tremendous test against Steve Dr. Death Williams next week. Ladies and gentlemen, for our ring announcer, Boyd Pierce, and my colleague, Joel Watts, I'm Jim Ross saying once again, thank you so very much for allowing us to come into your home. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you right here next week on Mid-South Wrestling. And welcome to another exciting hour of Mid-South Wrestling. Thanks very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, here on the #1 rated sports program in the country. I'm Jim Ross, along with Joel Watts. We will describe the acts that you will see here today. What a tremendous wrestling event. So many classic matchups, Joel. Some great single competition here today on Mid-South.
Exactly right, Jim. We'll see Hacksaw Butch Reed in action. We'll see a newcomer to the Mid-South, Mike Graham, go against Dirty Dutch Mantell. Also, we'll see Al Perez, a newcomer as well, against Dr. Death Steve Williams. We'll see Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch in action. We'll see the champion against Brickhouse Brown. And there's also some great tag team matches. Jim, tell them.
There certainly is, Joel. Ladies and gentlemen, one of those tag team matches, a huge team, the Bounty Hunters. Over 700 pounds combined weight will go against Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Cowboy Bill Watts right here today. And right now, and you hear the music in the background, it can only mean one thing. General Skandar Akbar and his troops are on their way to the ring. It's going to be Kamala and Kareem Muhammad in tag team action. So many exciting things. Let's get started. Let's go to the ring and announcer, Boyd Pierce.
This event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit, a tag team match. Introducing first in the red corner, General Skandar Akbar presents first Kamala, the Ugandan warrior. And his team partner at 406 pounds, Kareem Muhammad, the Zambui Express. And their opponent at 230 pounds from San Antonio, Texas, Wendell Cooley. and 233 pounds, Tampa, Florida, Frank Lane. Your referee, Alfred Neely.
There you hear the introductions, ladies and gentlemen, as you see Skandar Akbar. What a phenomenal team he has. 817 pounds combined weight. Looks like Kareem Muhammad will start. And Akbar, with those terrorist tactics. And there's Kareem Muhammad, is starting off just like we thought it would.
Jim, there's so much mass in there in the ring and so much viciousness. Skandar Akbar on the outside of the ring to make things even worse. Zambui going straight to the attack on Wendell Cooley. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, my father, Captain Redneck Dick.